Hi guys, welcome to our kitchen corner with Sasha. And today Sasha is going to be teaching us to make something really interesting. I mean, we all know about pastels here in Trinidad and Tobago. It is a Christmas staple around this time, but this is a pasta with a twist. Yeah? Because it's not traditional.
Well, the only thing that to me is not traditional is just the meat being used.
And what kind of meats are we using?
Lamb, mince.
And you want to tell us the story behind the minced lamb? How you arrived at this pastel with a twist?
Well, it was about 15 years ago, and my son's dad, who I was with at the time, he was a Hindu, so I couldn't do beef, and he wasn't eating pork, and I didn't want no fish pastel, so I decided to get some lamb mince, and I tried it, and ever since then, it has probably been a hit.
Okay. Oh, nice. So every year you make lamb pastels?
Well, I did not make pastels for a while to sell. I did not make in about, 3 years? But through COVID and all of these things, I decided that, you know what, maybe I should start back. So this is my first year in a while.
Oh, nice. Okay, and I'm sure a lot of people are gravitating towards this lamb thing because, again, it's an alternative. It's different. Yeah, for those persons that don't want to try eating beef, well, people that don't eat beef at all for whatever reason, and persons that don't eat pork as well. Yeah. And that's the thing with pastels, you can switch it up, like the different meats you can play around. I mean, there's chicken as well, but I'm not a big fan of chicken pastels. Neither am I. Yeah.
It's a bit, I think the chicken meat is a bit dry. I think the juiciest meat is actually the lamb. And
are you serious?
Yeah, because the lamb is like a fatty meat. Right. So it really is a nice moist meat.
We got you. So what are we going to start with here?
Okay, so to do the pastels, we have to do the meat first, and then we go into the cornmeal. So this is the layout for the meat. So this is the minced meat. Right. So we're gonna, everybody likes, different things in their pastels, but I just kind of try to keep it simple. Right. Raisins, of course, minced olives. I don't like to get the olives too chunky. Right. So you like the taste of it. Yeah, but not the actual olive. And then they have the capers, and then of course ketchup, because it's just to make it come together. Okay. But as it pertains to the lamb, how did you season that lamb up? Is it the usual green seasoning or? Yeah, normal green seasoning. So that's celery, chive, bandania, garlic, pimentos, thyme, and then the Worcestershire sauce. Okay. Worcestershire sauce is a big deal with the lamb and the flavor. Okay, so that one would be period. Okay, so that one is the secret ingredients in the seasoning. Oh my God, did I say Worcestershire? Worcestershire? Well, we get we'll put this spelling up so people will know what it is, right? That thing. Worcestershire sauce. Yeah. Worcestershire. You keep saying it. Tongue twister. Yeah. Okay, so let's get to putting this lamb up. What are we doing with the lamb? So we're gonna have to put it in a saucepan, and well, I guess I'm gonna show you guys. Yeah, let's get that going over there. Okay, so I put in some oil, and I put in the meat. Now I don't use fresh onions or garlic and stuff like that because I find that things tend to get problematic. It's been cooking a little while, so I'm gonna add the rest of the ingredients. I'll put in the raisins first. Then the capers, and then the olive. Then we're gonna mix everything up in there. When it is you use a non-stick pan, it requires you to not add as much water. So it's better to use a non-stick pan, because I think when it is you add water to the meat, it kind of takes away from the natural, the strong flavors. So then we're going to let this cook a little bit, and then we can add the ketchup when it's almost finished. Oh God, Olia, the thing like with all these small talk, they're like the things that are bunions. I'm kidding. So we put in the ketchup. And depending on the type of flavor you want, you can add a little more sugar. I like mine to be, a little a little tangy. So I'll put a little sugar. And then you're gonna wait for this to simmer a little bit again. And I'm gonna put the heat on a little lower. And then that's it for your meat. Okay, so the meat is finished. So we're gonna set this here.
Awesome.
And now we're gonna do our cornmeal. All right, so we have some promasa here. Listen to me. Brand to me is important.
Okay.
Because there was a time I went to Tobago and I wanted to make pastels in Tobago. And my friend's dad brought a particular brand, and listen to me, those pastels were not it. They were not it.
It wasn't a true representation of your pasta. Okay.
Right. So brand is important for the cornmeal. I could tell you about promasa. So promasa, I use butter. Now the thing is, you can use butter and oil, or you could use butter or oil. So it depends on what you want. You know how much butter to use, how much oil to use.
Okay, so how much promasa you have there, cornmeal?
About a cup and a half. Mm-hmm. And this will yield probably like about a dozen nice sized pastels.
Okay, and you have about quarter pound
about 3 tablespoons of butter.
Okay.
About 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt, and about 2 tablespoons of oil.
Okay, perfect.
I use warm water because it's important for the temperature of the water for the cornmeal, because it kind of binds the cornmeal when it's warm. When it is you put normal cold water from the tap, it does not bind it as well when it is you as well as when you use warm water.
Okay, got
right?
you.
So I'm gonna put in the cornmeal. I'm gonna put in the oil and the butter. Now the thing is, I use some of the butter at a time.
Okay.
Depends, as I said, the consistency. And I'm gonna put in the salt and the sugar. So we're just gonna mix this up so the butter and everything can be mixed properly within the cornmeal, right?
Got you.
And then when it is you think it's, mixed properly within the cornmeal, then you're gonna add your water. So Ren, can you add water for me?
Sure. And we're adding a little.
No, you can add. I'll tell you when to stop. All right, stop. Okay, now you see any consistency how it's changing, right?
Yeah.
So you see how it's coming out like that? Mm-hmm. That's good consistency. You don't want it too soft, you don't want it too stiff. Add a little more water for me. Stop. And then you mix it in there, because the butter is the butter, the salt, everything has to be mixed in properly, so it won't be like,
you don't want to get even salty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Put a little more water for me. A little more. Right. And this should be good. When this is finished, you can just let this rest a little bit, and then you let it rest, and then you could start to ball out your pasta.
Awesome. How long are we leaving it?
About 5 minutes. Okay, so now we're gonna just ball it out, right? So you literally make little balls. I think this is about what, an inch and a half? About an inch and a half. So we make the balls, and then we move on to prepping the leaves.
Okay.
Okay, so our cornmeal balls are ready. Okay. So for this part of the process, we have singed fig leaves. Well, you see the size, right? It's about, I'm really bad with that. So it's about that size.
It's about this size.
And well, we have our pastel press. Now the thing is, people use their hand, sometimes people use plates, sometimes people use rolling pins, different things. Because, well, I'm in the business of selling, so because of the amount that I have to do, I prefer to use the press, right? And, well, we use foil sheets as well. You see these sides? It's a little bigger than the fig leaf size. And then, of course, we have our meat here, right? So let's get into it. So I put the fig leaf on the press, right? I put the ball, and it has to be closer to that side because when it spreads, you have to give the
give it some room
to spread, right? Then I put the wax paper. I use wax paper because other than that, you have to use oil, and too much oil, it just gets really messy.
Right.
So I use the wax paper. And then you go to press. You try to get this really flat here because any excess causes kinks and stuff in the fig leaf. So you press it down. It gets to a really nice size. Right? Then you put it on your foil. So then you fill it with the meat. I usually use like about a little over a tablespoon. It's enough, right? You spread it out. Try to get it to the ends because sometimes you're eating pastel and it's like all that bite and there's no meat. So I try to get it to the ends. And then you fold, right? So this is the wrapping now, right? So I wrap it really good. Sometimes people use a little bit of fig leaf, but I like to really wrap it good so the flavor is locked in there, right?
Right.
And then I boil mine in water. So I put it in foil. So I seal it off in the foil properly, right? So you wrap it in foil and you seal the ends properly. Right, so I seal off the ends really good. Straight to the end. And then I do the same thing on both ends here.
And then it's ready for boiling.
And then it's ready for boiling.
Okay, so we got one pastel down.
Done. So we're gonna do the rest, and then we'll show y'all what we do in boiling.
So now we have our pastels, and well, they're still in the foil and everything. But tell us, how long did these pastels boil for?
Okay, so they boiled for about 45 minutes.
Okay.
And they were submerged in the water. The trick is to really seal in the cornmeal. So we use the fig leaves and the foil to seal it properly.
Right, and well, you guys would have seen how she sealed these pastels in nicely. So yeah, now we're gonna taste. The real test is now.
So the thing is, because of how I fold the foil, it's easy to, to open. Wow.
Okay.
Right, so
you don't have to like wrap out, you just
peel and eat. Just take it off.
Yeah. And I mean, if this is perfect,
and you can see the steam there. Look at that.
When you have these pastels for like luncheons and these kind of things, it's much easier than you there trying to fight up with this foil.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like I ripped. Okay.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Ooh.
It's hot, right?
Wow, this is really good. The consistency.
Really moist.
I'm not going to talk about that. But this is perfect. This is like butter. When it goes into your mouth, it's like butter. Nice. That's the best way I can describe this.
And you get the distinct taste of everything.
Yeah.
Nothing overpowers anything.
Right. So you have the meat, but you're also tasting that cornmeal flavor that you get from it.
If you guys really want to get at me pertaining to the pastels, I am Sasha Romano, head cook at Celeste Cuisine. I am on Facebook, Celeste Cuisine Couva, and I am on Instagram as well.
Right.
And my number is 1-868-782-6226.
And she doesn't only do pastels, like she caters and stuff like that. Anything with food.
Anything with food. Really, really amazing. I mean, you can take our word for it. These pastels were second to none. But that's it for us here at the kitchen corner. We have our pastels. I am going to get really ugly with these pastels now.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Yes, it was our pleasure.
It was fun.
It was.
Thank you.
It was. Okay, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.